Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Let's Talk, the series where we wear the brown pants. This is your friendly neighborhood Birdman, and today we're talking Deadpool and Wolverine. A few years after the events of Deadpool 2, Wade finds himself struggling to adapt to no longer being Deadpool. He settled into a life of being a car salesman with his X-Force teammate Peter until one day, the Time Variance Authority of Loki fame stop by his house and abduct him. It's there that he learns his timeline, the 20th Century Fox timeline, is dying. So the TVA gives him an ultimatum: join the MCU or die. Of course, it's a little deeper than that, but if I explained further, we'd be venturing into spoiler territory, and I don't want to ruin the ridiculous amount of things you won't see coming in this movie. And what a ride it was. While I think the first Deadpool story might have been a bit stronger, this is definitely my favorite Deadpool film so far. It is incredibly funny. Wade has so much material to work with since the acquisition of Fox by Disney, and he makes sure to leave no meat on the bone. It's like they've unlocked the true potential of the character. The amount of comic book references alone might be overwhelming to the more casual fans, but that's one of the things I loved about it. Since we're now in the MCU, Deadpool's fourth wall breaks hit so much harder. I mean, he makes fun of Phase 4, which I appreciated and found hilarious as a person that made a video defending Phase 4. I don't think a single joke missed in my theater, as he had everyone roaring with laughter at every single reference. I can't praise the writing here enough. Marvel allowed the original writers of the first and second Deadpool to pen this script for this film, along with Ryan Reynolds and Zeb Wells, the current writer for The Amazing Spider-Man, and this results in very strong comedy mixed with references to the comics, Fox comic book movies, and the MCU itself. It's a dangerous mix that had every reason to fail, but it just works. Hugh Jackman was awesome in this. He's definitely the heart of the film, as his character arc is situated around him finding redemption after letting his X-Men down. Actually, his yellow suit plays a part in his arc, and I thought it was perfectly woven into the narrative. We've waited over 20 years for that suit, and the reason for him wearing it now hits you right in the feels. I really gotta hand it to the huge, jacked man. There's a reason he's the Wolverine, and it's because he can give you the feels as well as the thrills. It's difficult to talk about this movie without ruining all the surprises, but let's just say there are things we've been begging for years, and there are things I would have never in a million years expected Disney Marvel to do. The cameos in this movie are top tier. Like, you're not ready for the people that appear in this thing. All the fan theories that I've seen were way off, because when they popped on screen, I was holding my head in disbelief. No bullshit. My brother, who was watching this movie in a different theater across town, immediately called me just so we could geek out. It's that crazy. But here's where I think the movie runs into problems. There are so many references, people who have not kept up with everything Marvel related might be a smidge lost. For example, if you didn't watch Loki, first of all, shame on you because Loki is amazing, but the world Loki built plays a huge part in this film's narrative. As I always say, the U in the MCU stands for universe, so you kinda have to keep up, and if you've fallen off from the series, a couple of the references will not make sense to you. Granted, the film stands on its own, and the main narrative does not require homework, but if you want the best experience, you have to have watched a lot of comic book properties. Honestly, the people that have taken to shitting on the MCU recently will definitely find issue with the references in this movie. Like the strange turn people have taken against No Way Home, they will claim this film is only good because of its references and nods to nostalgia. To that I say, if you're going to a Deadpool film for its story, you'll dislike the fan service in this film. This movie is a celebration of the Fox acquisition and serves as a welcome party to the MCU. Even as Deadpool takes shot after shot at Disney, you can tell they're happy to be here, so that means the hate watchers will have another movie to whine about. But if you like fan service and non-stop comedy, this will definitely appeal to you. If I had to give one thing that I didn't like about this movie, I'd say it was the main villain. In true MCU fashion, there are weak antagonists in this movie. They're definitely doing their best, and they're not giving bad performances. It's just, at the climax of the film, they're standing in one spot, which is disappointing because at their character introduction, they demonstrated an incredibly overpowered ability that I was wondering how Deadpool and Wolverine were going to overcome. let's just say they dropped the ball on that one. In the end, I love this movie. The fight scenes were brilliant. Hugh Jackman is obviously having a great time, and Ryan Reynolds is absolutely hysterical. The references and cameos are definitely the selling point of this film, and boy oh boy, do you get what you paid for. If you're a comic book or comic book movie fan, you will love the care put into the jokes and callbacks. If you're experiencing comic book movie fatigue, however, I don't think this movie does enough to pull you back into the fold. It leaves the more casual fans in the dust and gives the haters more ammunition in their feeble crusade. I did find the events surrounding the villain to be weak, and the movie could have been structured better around that villain, strangely enough, by including an obvious cameo that they didn't make. Yes, I'm asking for another cameo specifically because of who the villain is, and they didn't make it. Very peculiar. A-.